we have started off. If I'm not mistaken, this is like, what, part 5?
Hell if I know.
I think it's part 5.
We're 12 hours and 15 minutes in.
Indeed, we're 12 hours and 15 minutes in.
And still going strong. That's what I like to hear. We're motivated, we're energized.
I'm fucking motivated. We're getting this shit done, boys.
It's eight at night, and I just ate a good breakfast. I'm full of energy.
Hell yeah. But that being said, we have officially entered Tarbolan tier. Oh wait, fuck. I forgot about the fireplace. I guess I'll put it to a vote. Actually, no, Big Amazing did it, so skip.
No!
Fireplace, fucking damn it. Campfire. Are you fucking serious? Play digital campfire. It's gonna make me do it manually, aren't you? Just 1 second.
Nobody tell him.
Campfire. You think I don't know? Oh, that's why. It's because some guy. It's detecting the one that's 10 hours long. Yeah, there we go. Fuck you, Baph. I haven't unmuted it yet. What the hell? Hold up. Why do I still hear the elevator music?
I do too.
There we go. Let me adjust the sound. So that way the campfire... Boson, could you talk for me just for 1 second?
Who?
Boson. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Huh? You got it. Or do I need to keep going?
Alright, I think you two are well adjusted.
This is dead air, Sinaticus. People are clicking away.
Oh!
They beat Count Strike.
The amount of the amount of fucks I give.
I'm clicking away right now. He won't get
Lake City quiet pills.
Start us off, Boson.
Alright, so Lake City Quiet Pills is, it revolves around a website called LakeCityQuietPills.com. It's a website you can't access anymore. It was discovered by people back in the day when the death of some user on Reddit was announced. He was like 79 years old and an army veteran. He apparently used the site as an image hosting, site. But apparently, if you check the source of the website, there was a hidden forum there where people posted. And usually what they would post about is getting a job. And based on the descriptions of these jobs, people deduced that it was most likely some kind of hitman service.
Holy shit. Any screen caps?
I don't believe so, but I feel like there might have to be somewhere. But anyways, City Quiet Pills is there was an assassination after the forum was that matched up with the description.
You cut out. Could you do that again?
Oh, sorry. Well, there was an assassination that happened after the forum was discovered that matched one of the jobs that was posted there pretty close. Let me see if I could find the guy's name again. 1 second.
Yeah, if you can post any sort of references, that'd be nice. Also, the challenge for the evening is to avoid saying the word essentially.
Fuck me, I'm just gonna get destroyed. It's the assassination of Amu al-Mashad, I believe this is. Mahmoud Al-Masho. Let me see if there's a Wikipedia article.
I should get a webcam. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a webcam.
I'm not sure if I want to see you with your dog again.
Just stream your tired, half-attentive face.
Oh, fuck you. I don't have a
It was the assassination of... It was the assassination of...
Mahmoud
Who was in
al-Mahal.
Hamas. Yeah. I think the one thing that tipped off people at the time was that all of the suspects, whose name and ethnicities have not been released yet by the FBI, they all had credit cards that were taken out from a single bank. And that bank is extremely close to a place called the Lake City Ammunitions Factory.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Well,
that's interesting.
for now, yeah, I can see if I could look for some screenshots while we move on.
Sure. Hey, Baph, what's a phantom cottage?
See, I couldn't find anything at all about phantom cottages. It might be one of those fake filler ones.
Really? I'm looking at something from something called Legendary Dartmoor. Although that's recent, as in 2 years ago.
Well, does it seem interesting?
Oh, let's see. Phantom Cottage just outside.
I'm gonna go turn off the lights.
What I'm trying to figure out is whether this is actually fictional or not.
I recently just reorganized my desk so that way I don't have to have the entire room light on.
Woman moved into the district and decided to get acquainted with her surroundings, so she took to walking the lanes. She spotted through some trees the most charming country cottage she had ever seen. She just stood there admiring it, and when she returned, she met a man who owned the land which the cottage stood and took the opportunity to express her admiration. The landowner was perplexed and explained that he didn't own such a property, and all that stood on his land was trees.
Oh!
She was insistent that it was a building, that it was there. Next evening, both she and the landowner returned to the spot. When they arrived, she could not find it. Just trees.
I've actually heard of this, but not from that. When I was a little kid, right, me and my family used to take this trip up to some farmland out in Massachusetts where we just stay there for like a week. The family who owned the land, they would rent it out to people. And my dad evidently had gotten lost in the woods one day, and he found like the exact same thing. He's like, yeah, I came across this cottage, and then they helped me out. And when I got back to the owner, he showed me like a photograph from from a helicopter they had took, and there's no cottage on his land.
Well, this one's not in Connecticut. This is somewhere in something called Ingslington. Is that an actual place?
So, well, I don't know, but my dad's encountered this before, so...
It's apparently a district of Greater London. So, maybe this is an older tale?
Could be.
Either way, it seems to be a common motif. At least in folklore. Nothing beyond anecdotes and personal accounts, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. Infrared laundry bowls.
So this is a very strange concept. Basically, if you watch an advertisement for laundry balls, they may at some point advertise that it uses infrared technology to clean your clothes. What they're referring to is the fact that it passively creates heat, like literally any other object. So the selling point is that it's a material object that produces heat. It's very weird, it doesn't really make sense, and it's only technically true. It's like advertising a hammer as being a solid object and not gas.
By the way, I apologize. I forgot to post the iceberg.
I got it open.
Same.
No, I'm at the current one. Because, I'm pretty sure there are people who don't have it, so... Alright, so there's the iceberg. My bad. Alright, so, we've been over this one before. Well, hold up, wait. Well, if the infrared laundry balls are technically true, well then it's not really a conspiracy, so I'm blacking that.
I don't have a problem with that.
Japanese blood types. We've gone over this before, and, like, it's never yielded results.
I have it right here, though. What do you mean?
Well, I guess we have results today, then. Let's go.
It's kind of like Americans and their astrology fetish.
Yeah,
There's this minor cult following in Japan that your blood type is associated with personality. Like, if your blood type is A, it means you're stubborn and anxious. If it's B, it means you're uncooperative.
Is that
So, go ahead.
Is that why when I look at, like, some characters during, Hold up, I'm sorry, I have, like... I had to take a sip of water. Every now and then I've looked up, like, characters from animes and stuff, and they'll have their blood type mentioned. Is that why?
That's
Probably.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
The source that I use to look it up said that that's also why, like, in fighting games, when you have, like, the character lists, it'll list their blood type.
Like, I always thought that was just so weird.
I find it even weirder when they start
I guess,
listing all
yeah.
fights.
I guess it would be the equivalent of in America having a character list, like, say their sign.
Yeah, those are in there too for some reason. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
it's just a foreign physiognomy thing.
Alright.
Type A is the best. Oh, there's like best and worst traits for it. For Type O, it's confident, self-determined, ambitious, strong-willed, and all that. For Type AB, creative, calm, rational, sociable. Type B, passionate, active, creative, animal-loving, flexible, cheerful. Type A, warmest, reserved, sensible, patient, responsible, and cautious. And the rest are kind of ambivalent.
So
Even
what
in the
about
minor.
polywater? Let's move on.
It's really funny, that story. So, it's an example of, how do they say it? One sec. It's an example of pathological science. There was this, it was in the Cold War, and this Soviet scientist who was kind of essentially fucking around published something called polywater in his journal, and somehow that got over here when we didn't realize they were fucking around, so we tried to make polywater too. So there was this quote-unquote polywater gap, and polywater doesn't exist, that's not a thing. But we thought it was, and we spent millions of dollars trying to make it.
That's clever.
That seems to be a thing that Russia does all. Like, I remember that one time they made a film showing off all their bombers. What they did was they had one row of bombers fly by the camera, turn around, and then fly by it again, so it looked like they had way more than they did. They tricked America into making, like, a whole bunch of more bombers.
Based.
The other thing about polywater as a concept, it comes from a Kurt Vonnegut novel, which is the idea that it's water that becomes ice at room temperature, which means that it's Like, we can't drink it. It would be impossible to drink it because it'd always be ice.
So it's what SCP is it? 008?
Something like that.
Isn't
Yeah.
that a zombie virus?
Hold on, it was like red ice or something.
Yeah, it's the red ice one where it's basically water from another universe where the laws of physics are different. So
Yeah.
it freezes at room
Well, the
temperature.
thing that makes it kind of cool in the novel, though, is the idea that it can infect other water, so that if it were released into the oceans, it would make the Earth like uninhabitable because we couldn't drink the
Yeah.
Yeah, so red ice is just a
So
rip
red
off
ice
of
is
it.
just the rip off of polywater. Well, that fucking
Once again,
ruins the
SCP
red ice
BTFO.
article.
Once again, SCP utterly BTFO by RPC.
God, that just makes me so upset. Rolfing.
An alternative medicine
It's one
coming
of the
from Ida Rolf, 1896 to 1979. It's typically delivered as a series of 10 hands-on physical manipulation sessions, sometimes called the recipe. It's based on an idea about how the human's body energy field can benefit when aligned with the gravitational field of the Earth. The process is sometimes painful. Oh, hold on, why is that quoted? The American Cancer Society? Why are they in here?
You can do the next one, Boson.
Just goes back to Amazon.
What's the next?
So, just read ahead.
The next one is Harmonic Mundi.
God damn it! This is the one I haven't been looking at.
Yeah, I got the next one.
Well, I was just gonna insta-black that one. That's just a Chinese medicine.
Oh, okay then.
Guys, I don't think this girl's gonna reply. I told her I like ELO and sushi. She probably thinks I'm a fucking weirdo.
Oh, I found something for the harmoniously, so give me a sec.
Well, I'm gonna black out Rolfing. I don't think it has much to it. I'm sorry.
But Sinaticus, don't you want to realign yourself painfully to the Earth's gravitational pull
No.
so that your aura can heal you?
No. Are there any recorded instances of aura healing people?
Not from this practice, I don't think.
Well then, it sure as fuck sounds useless, doesn't it?
So, where are we now? Are we still on...
We are currently on Harmonis Mundi. I'm just gonna black out Gua Sha. Like I said, that's just an ancient Chinese.
Baph was really excited about that.
No, I moved on.
Ooh. Alright.
It's not a conspiracy. It's just a medicine tactic.
Alright, Beth, you get the Sphinx, I'll get the Sajama lines.
Oh, I like the Sphinx, though. Whatever, we can all talk about the Sphinx. Anyway, so Harmonis Mundi was a book that was released by Kepler, or Kepler Astronomy. It outlines his theory that everything in the world can be described by harmonic proportion, which is like the proportions on a string that produce harmonies musically, like with, you know what I mean? He talks about how like the diagonals of square is representative of harmonic proportions with the rest of the square, and about how the distances between the planets' orbits and shit are harmonic proportions and stuff like that. I've got a good link to it I can send you if you want to see it.
Go for it.
It's just basically Kepler's idea of a unified theory of everything, I guess, where everything is harmony and harmonic.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at this. And then the final one, oh wait, no, I blacked it. Well, Sphinx water erosion.
This one I find to be quite interesting.
It's a fringe claim, forwarding the claim that the reason the Sphinx has its weird abrasions is due to weathering, such as prolonged rainfall or flooding. It is largely discredited because the timeline would not add up. The construction of the Sphinx and the supposed flood do not match up historically, so they discredit it. Mainstream Egyptologists, which I didn't know was a thing.
Well, there are a couple things. The one that I found was that the lines of water erosion on the Sphinx, combined with the amount of water that would usually be flowing by, implies that it's much older than originally thought. That it's like much older than the Egyptian.
I heard this theory in conjunction with the Atlantis theory that I had brought up.
The other one is that it combines it with the amount of rainfall that's expected in the area, and the amount of erosion from rain that it has is way more than it would have if it as originally.
Is that also accounting for sand dusting, or?
I have no idea, dude. I'm reading this off of fucking 4chan, alright? Give me a break.
Okay.
Having to explain polywater.
Interesting. Interesting. I like this whole alternate history type stuff.
I mean, technically, Baph, you can make water
Yeah.
into ice at room temperature, but it just won't stay.
Yeah, like Baph's favorite Phantom Time. That's a good one. Baph loves Phantom Time.
It's an interesting hypothesis, but it doesn't match up with anything.
He's mad. You can hear it.
You're mad, buddy, pal.
I'm the one that's smiling, friend.
Doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't match up with the calendar, Boson.
Chinese calendar doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, it's the Islamic expansion does not line up with this alleged thing.
I don't think that's true.
It does. What does not?
Alright, you heard it here, folks. Baph said it does. Alright, we're moving on.
What's next on John's line?
Oh, I got it. I got a pick.
Sajama lines. Let's get that nice pick.
There you go. Mine's better.
But mine you don't have to click on.
They're
Yeah,
just
but
a
his
series.
got way bigger, so.
A series of dozens, quote, if not thousands, of perfectly straight lines done by a tribal civilization in Peru.
Bolivia.
I think
Same
I've heard
thing.
of this.
And it's, we don't know why, but it's pretty.
What was this group called again? I'm pretty sure.
I'm not seeing the name.
I can't think of their name. I think I heard of this.
Let's see. Many believe they were sacred pilgrimage. Why did I say sacrilege?
Well, anything that's not Christian is sacrilege. Don't you know that, Judge? The Love Roller Coaster Scream.
I have this. I have a link.
Yeah, I was just reading that, but go ahead and post the video.
So in the song "Love Roller Coaster" by the Ohio Players, I don't know at what point in the song, but you can hear a faint scream in the background. Many a urban legend have been found or written about why this scream is in there, what's the origin of this scream. The most prevailing theory is that it's the scream of the woman on the cover of the album. That the general basis of it is that it's a real scream of agony from someone.
Based. Yeah, that's nowhere near as interesting as the Britney Spears one, which we'll get to later.
You keep hyping me up for it, Baph. I really don't want to be disappointed.
Oh, I won't. It won't disappoint you. Trust me.
Well, I can't play that. Well, is this? It's just 56 seconds. All right, well, I'll listen to this. We'll listen to this.
And the part of the song is only in like the first 20 seconds. You could basically stop halfway through.
Oh yeah, I can definitely hear that.
Oh. Yeah, that's definitely a scream.
It was intentionally put in there. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to say. When songs are recorded, they're done in like 5x5 boxes.
Some spooky shit. Semanticpiffs.exe.
Boson, do you have anything?
I've got a website that I just opened. It looks like I'm gonna have to do some reading, some heavy reading, sadly.
Alright, we'll move forward. And we'll come back. Tila Tequila.
Apparently, she's known for spouting out various conspiracy theories since probably 2013. Bob, Tila Tequila. Yeah, talks about the Illuminati. She talks about the truth about Paul Walker's death. Oh, there's a highlight. Hold on.
Isn't Tequila a porn star?
I'm halfway sure.
I wouldn't know, so.
No. Yeah, she is an television personality. She looks like she could be a porn star.
Pro-Hitler, anti-Illuminati, apocalyptic musings are kind of amazing?
Oh yeah, I remember that bit. It was weird when that came up one time. She is.
You guys hear that? You guys hear that Logan Paul joined the Flat Earth Society?
The what?
Logan Paul joined the Flat Earth Society.
Okay. She has subsequently received negative attention for her support of Adolf Hitler, as well as anti-Semitic and white nationalist comments. Okay.
The Middle East is always in trouble because it's a portal for aliens?
Hmm.
Okay, then.
Sounds pretty woke to me.
A little too
Don't you
woke
come
for
from
my tastes. Oh, yeah. The Jews definitely come from space, dude.
What's the next one?
Astral America, which is the same as Japanese Blood Times.
So I listened to the song and I looked at the lyrics. It's not really outstanding, but I can't find anything on 4Plebs either, so I feel like someone just kind of dumped their favorite song on the list.
Well, did you like the song?
No, it was very 90s.
Well, a Reddit post came up on conspiracy.
Do tell.
Please, would someone be kind enough to link me to any material? blah 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 blah. Become more and more spiritual. The CIA has psychic abilities. Okay, ultra. Blah blah blah. Reading room. Nothing new. Just army bullshit. I'm not seeing anything for Astral America beyond just like the horoscope shit. Oh, and apparently it was a song by Apollo 440. That's about it. I can't find anything.
So what are we on right now?
Well, what about semanticpiffs.exe?
Yeah, that's why I asked, because I know what it is now.
Okay, go on.
Alright, well, Symantec is another name for Norton, which is the antivirus company, famous antivirus company. And apparently, at some point, a whole bunch of users that had Norton antivirus got a bunch of alerts asking to trust a file called piffs.exe, which is a very ominous sounding file. What makes it even weirder is that if you tried to post on Norton's like help forum, like asking about what piffs was, your post would get deleted.
Sounds like some Erato shit.
Yeah, I don't think Norton has made a statement on what it actually is.
Is there proof it happened?
Mostly it's from a bunch of Twitter users who all say that like are tweeting like at Norton saying, "Yo, what's piffs.exe?" The website has a couple screen grabs. I'll post them to voice.
Yeah, please.
Whilst we're waiting for that, negative buoyancy. Oh, never mind, it's there.
Twitter is getting kind of weird because this is a bit of an oldie.
There's neutral buoyancy.
Negative buoyancy is simply the act of sinking, no?
Well, that's what I thought too.
It certainly sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, isn't that just sinking?
Hold on, there's the... No, this is just a swimming Reddit, and it's just about sinking.
Okay then, blacking and moving on.
Hold on, let me try one last thing and see what comes up. Gravity is not real. Density and buoyancy is real. Okay.
You do know those two forces only work with the context of gravity, right?
That's about as far as I can see in here.
Right. Moving on. Disappearing cars.
There is a list of what are known as phantom vehicles of strange phenomenon involving cars on Wiki. It's exactly what it sounds like. Some are more fantastic than others. Like there was one report in Germany in 2008 where a car started up by itself and accelerated into a wall. In the mid 80s, 3 people reported seeing a sedan driving without a driver. But it's mostly just like legends people report. Nothing I can find visually.
I remember seeing a while back a video on YouTube where it's like a car that drives straight through a fence without destroying the fence.
I remember that.
Yeah. spooky ass world. CIA lost China 2010.
Well, apparently in 2010, a radio malfunction caused a Chinese plane to go down over Russia, and the CIA attempted to cover it up.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe Judge Boy has some insight because he was about to say something.
I was just going to say that apparently in 2010, about 10 to 15 CIA agents or informants just disappeared in China after there was a breach in security. I'm assuming that's information. So
That one sounds a bit better than mine.
Yeah, I think Judge Boy's got it.
Yep, they were either imprisoned or killed. Oh, that's gone to 18 to 12. 20, sorry. 18 to 20. Well, there's a lot of news articles on this. That's actually kind of...
Well, it's not a conspiracy. People know about it.
Yeah.
Bo Weevil Jackson.
Oh, this is after hacking Hillary Clinton's emails. Okay, never mind.
I think I've heard about that before. Bo Weevil Jackson.
I think we've done it before, but I can't find any. He's like a jazz singer guy back in the day, but not finding anything out of the ordinary. What about you, Baph?
Hold on, I found an X thread.
Well, there's something from Reddit about unsolved mysteries. I'll need to read it real quick.
No, that's not helpful. That's just a thread that they were making this iceberg. LMAO.
Do they at least mention it in any way?
They just name it off. They're going down a list of things they want included.
Oh, I
was
remember
that
that thread. I think I might have been in that thread.
Did you put it in?
I did not put in CIA Lost 2010 or Bo Weevil Jack. I think one of the ones I tried to put in was Rat Encoding
Alright, well,
and Precambrian paganism.
After Blind Lemon Jefferson's country blues records became first guitar blues hits, race record companies such as Paramount, Columbia, and Vocalion began crisscrossing the South looking for African American musicians to record. One of these firsts was a man who recorded under the name Bo Weevil Jackson in 26. Due to poor practice by record labels, it was very common, there to be no documentation of the musicians who were recorded, and there's a very long list of artists. If we look at the information given by record labels, blah blah blah, due to the fact that he was discovered in Birmingham and some lyrical connections to the area, it is commonly thought he was from Alabama and not from the Carolinas. That's about where the trial freezes. He was recorded in 26. He vanished back into obscurity. Some guy apparently did some digging, and there's an article on USA Today for something called Creepy Dolls Found in the Swamp, which says the Bear Creek Swamp in Alabama is known for loud booms that allegedly come from its depths. Consequentially, one of Bo Weevil Jackson's songs has a verse which says, and I quote, "I hear a mighty rumbling way down under the ground from the song Devil and My Brown Blues." This may or may not strengthen the ties to Alabama. This is one photograph of Jackson. Very grainy picture. Hold on, let me get it. apparently him. The Redditor assumes he's born between 95 to 1905. That's about it. And hold on, let me get the USA Today. Here we go. This is the story that mentions the loud booms in the swamp. Apparently. It's about all I can find on him.
Huh. Alright. The MacDougall experiments, 1907.
This one is rather funny. This is
Go ahead.
This man, Dr. McDougall, in 1907, attempted to figure out how much the human soul weighed by measuring people as they die, or weighing them as they die. And in one of his most famous experiments, he recorded a patient that lost 21 grams of weight right at the moment of death. He concluded that the soul was about 21 grams.
So, like, how did the guy die?
Tuberculosis.
Oh, okay.
Baph, you have anything else?
No.
This sounds very familiar. Did they, like, make a movie for him or something, or...?
Yeah, I think I recall hearing that the soul weighs 21 grams. Has it ever been repeated?
Probably not, because I doubt you could probably get very far in the modern scientific world trying to conduct experiments about weighing the human.
It would probably be illegal in some ways, too.
Well, what's extra funny about McDougall is that he attempted to do the same with animals because he didn't believe animals had souls. The Wikipedia article doesn't list the results of his experiment, but it does say that because he couldn't find any dogs that were already sick or dying, he just poisoned healthy dogs.
Look at that man's face. I can say no to him.
I believe it.
Looks pretty beta.
Machian
maybe he was-
principle.
It's a component of theoretical physics. The idea is that the existence of absolute rotation is determined by the large-scale distribution of matter, as exemplified by this anecdote. You are standing in a field looking at the stars. Your arms are resting freely at your side, and you see that the distant stars are not moving. Now start spinning. The stars are whirling around you, and your arms are pulled away from you. Why should your arms be pulled away when the stars are moving? Why should they be dangling freely when the stars don't move?
That's a good question.
Well, I'm hearing this and it sounds like a category mistake. One is regarding on the force of centrifugal pull. The other one is in relation to distance. Like, these two aren't, they're not connected in any way.
Basically, mass out there influences inertia here. A very general statement of Mach's principle is local physics laws are determined by the large-scale structure of the universe, which is a very unhelpful statement.
Alright, Mars effect.
Apparently, there's an idea originally circulated by a French psychologist and I guess what he calls himself a neo-astrologer, Michel Gauquelin. Fucking French. And apparently his idea is that whenever the Mars, the planet, is somewhere in the sky, specifically around the sunset or near the dawn of a person's birth, then he is more likely to be athletic. And his idea is that basically, well, it's basically that most of the athletes have the star Mars somewhere around the sky at their birth. And this was published in something called The Influence of the Stars in 1955.
Alright. Manichean narrative.
Yeah, this one's funny because of the punchline. So it's part of Gnosticism.
It's based on Gnosticism.
Oh, sorry, Professor Boson.
Well, listen, Manichaeism is an Iranian philosophy that's based on older Gnostic stuff, but go on.
So basically, it's a type of dualistic cosmology. It plays on the very old trope of light equal good, dark equal bad. Through an ongoing process that takes place in human history, light is gradually removed from the world of matter and returned to the world of light, whence it came. That's basically it. That's the narrative.
Alright. It's not a conspiracy, though.
Nah, it just makes you think. It forwards the impression that there are multiple realities, and we're just borrowing something from other ones.
Yeah, but you don't need that to explain that. I mean, quantum physics will tell you that.
That's not fun.
Yeah. Now go get me a skeleton on the moon.
I love these. Oh, there's a skeleton on the moon. There's a dwarf on Mars because they zoom in on a blurry picture and draw a jagged line. But I will get the picture that they're talking about.
Is it this one, Beth? I really like this one.
I gotta say, Baph, I don't know how you
No.
were mistaken that for not being a skeleton.
That's not it.
I just love the way that it's like a little tiny gremlin skeleton, and the fact that they put a red arrow there just in case you missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the object that most people refer to. It's a zoom in picture from a Luna probe. It's just kind of it's a rock, obviously, but whatever.
It looks more like a monkey.
I'd be more inclined to believe it if it didn't seem to have enormous jowl.
Yeah, I better say this guy's got a huge chin.
Boson, never post that again. That was very.
What? You don't like that with skull?
It's kind of spooky. Oh no.
Alright.
What'd you
Deadly
find out,
Plaza equals Masonic Crypto Temple.
Well, as you know, and I'll post a picture, Daily Plaza is where JFK got capped. Let's look into this.
Alright, now which knoll was it again? Next one looks familiar.
I found a famous web that forwards that there is esoteric Freemason imagery in the death of JFK.
Such as?
Uh, I'm looking. Oh lord. I'm just gonna post 2 images in succession, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh no, I think I know. Yeah, that's what I. Yep. You sneaky son of a.
What happened?
It's forwarding that it was set up to appease the Masonic Temple or something else. Even though I don't think that logo has anything to do with Freemasonry, but okay.
It's just all chemical shit.
Well, listen, Baph. The Freemasons worship the demiurge, and the Jews worship the demiurge. So there you go.
Are you saying that the Freemasons are the Jews?
No, just that they worship the same entity. Anyway, moving on. What's next?
U.S. bovine poisoning in Iraq.
The only thing I can find similar to that is we accidentally fed a lot of people with poisoned grain.
Apparently, ISIS was telling a bunch of people to poison food in Western supermarkets. And there was some mercury poisoning in Iraq. Apparently killed 400 people. Not 14, but 400. Oh, this looks old.
Alright, so how about the Masonic Doomsday?
That's one of the ones that are just so vague.
Yeah, but I did find a very nice picture.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I found something. There's an article on something called the Free Thought Project. It claims that Dick Cheney poisoned hundreds of U.S. troops in Iraq. They're dying and the media is silent. Hold on.
Dick Cheney, Jesus Christ.
What, like Dick Cheney personally, like he went to each one and.
I'm not sure.
Dick poisoned Cheney himself?
That's just
Dick.
like a dick to do. What an ass.
Dick kill the gays, Cheney?
Dick box him in and give him the toxins.
Oh no.
Give him the gas, give him the gas.
Masonic Doomsday, I'm just gonna black it.
But guess what's next? Guess what's next?
Despair Code.
The Despair Code. What a good one this is.
Tell me.
Everyone loves the Despair Code. Well, see, the thing about the Despair Code is that it's one of the older ones. Like, it's been in these icebergs since they were, like... And since it's been in there for so long, there are about 5,000 different definitions of the one that I like is the one that coincides with the Vox conspiracy, which is not listed on the icebergs. Vox refers to Voices of X. I've talked about this before because there's currently a sort of revival of it going on. But what it is a bunch of Anons on X got together to make synchronicity journals together, which was journals where they would sort of record all the strange events and matrix glitches, as it were, as a normie definition, that occurred throughout their life. And they made several threads about it, and as the legend goes, they went insane. Where the idea is that the Despair Code is the amalgamation of these synchronicities. and the despair part of it comes from realizing that reality is a simulation. Blah 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 blah.
So, like, synchrotity is the process to get there, and the code is the final step.
So what
Can
you
you share
telling
the
me?
code without going through synchronity?
Well, no, synchronicity is just a glitch in reality.
Uh,
One of the examples that's been forwarded in a recent thread is like some guy was stacking shelves at the supermarket and would just ask questions to the air, but every time he stocked a soup can, the label on the soup can would contain the answer to the question that he asked. Just weird stuff.
okay.
Sounds like a big meme.
Yeah.
I wish it was, but
Well, the
Voices
thing
of
is,
X is quite the rabbit.
I work at a supermarket and I talk to soup cans sometimes when I'm saying like, what's the code on this? So like,
And you turn it around and it says the despair code.
well, I turn it around
Trademark.
and I read its code so that way I can put it on the proper location of the shelf. So I mean, I don't know if I buy this.
Well, that was just one example, and it's a bit memey, but I mean, reality glitches are a thing that happen all the time, if you believe in them, and people say that they experience them all the time.
So what you're telling me is, I'm depressed and alone because some computer taking over a simulation just hates me.
Why don't you just fuck the computer then?
Possibly. Possibly. The other explanation for the despair code is that it's some government project to figure out a specific frequency that makes people depressed.
That sounds more familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's about 1 million definitions of the despair code because it's old as dirt. But those are the ones that I find the most in that I find to be the most relevant, I think. If anyone else has anything they would like to say about the despair code before we move on, you have the floor.
I think that's it. And because it's just so wide-ranging, I'm going to keep it. Asemic writing.
Apparently this is some sort of writing system or a writing method. It's wordless, open, semantic form of writing, but it doesn't actually have any meaning to probably the person who's writing it or someone else. Still trying to find more on. Apparently it's open to interpretation on what it says.
Alright, well then, if it's open-ended, I mean, that means there's nothing concrete.
Yeah, no, half of this is just art stuff that's made purposely.
Yeah. Oak Island Treasure.
It's pretty popular knowledge. Nova Scotia, there's some treasure buried under the island of anything from Shakespearean texts to French nobility jewels. And a while back, some people tried to dig to find what was down there, and it flooded with water, and it's been unsuccessful to drain it.
So have they still not found any treasure, or?
Nope, they haven't found anything. They can't get down there. Because it flooded. We're talking what could be a lot of history and a lot of valuable items just gone.
does it sound like we're at a campfire?
Because we're doing an iceberg, mate. I'm looking at it right now. Interesting. Luminous Woman of Pirano.
There was apparently a girl or a woman from presumably Italy that came in, and apparently she just had bioluminescence on her, or coming from her.
Well, she was an asthma patient in an Italian hospital in 1934.
Yeah.
And according to this book, what would happen was at night while she slept, her breasts would begin to emit a blue glow. It specifies that her breasts were glowing.
Was it the breast or just the chest in general?
The book specifies that it was her breasts emitting a blue glow.
Well, those girls gotta get in somehow, you know?
You might say so.
Started in 1934, and apparently it was a sensation at the time on the news media. Her name was Anna Monaro.
Interesting. Jameson family spiritual warfare, not welfare. Wow.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, a father, his wife, and a 6-year-old daughter, and a dog went missing one day in 2009, and authorities found their pickup truck in the woods, and their bodies were buried about a mile away. The mystery is who did it. The only thing they found in their house was a quote-unquote witch's Bible with suspicious inscriptions, but it didn't point to any leads. And one of the theories, other than being victims of a satanic cult, was that they were engaged in spiritual warfare. The Jamesons, which was the family name, believed spirits possessed their home. Allegedly, the husband told the wife he had a satanic Bible and later asked their local parish for special bullets to help with an exorcism. During the first investigation, they also did find messages written on the walls that basically said to kill black cats. The mystery. Go ahead.
When was this exactly?
This was in 2008, 2009.
So a semi-modern witch hunter.
Yeah. So TLDR, a family died. No one knows how, and there was just all this like witchy shit in their house. It is still unsolved to this day.
I doubt that's ever getting solved. Ron Gorongo.
Ooh, this looks interesting.
It's a system of glyphs discovered in Papua New Guinea that have yet to be decoded.
Show them.
Hold on. They look fancy. Discord, you piece of shit.
Jeff Boy's got. Yeah, that's the picture from the Wikipedia. It's pretty grainy. I wonder if there's a better image.
I'm seeing some humans that are constantly there. I'm seeing this weird. Looks almost Egyptian in some ways.
There's one from X.
Nah, that doesn't look Egyptian.
No, no, the one that looks like Neath. Thing that looks like a woman that's bent over, but whatever. Many of the human animal figurines, such as Glyphs 200 and 280, wow, they really put some effort into this article, have characteristic protuberances on either side of the head, possibly representing eyes.
Cool. Some cool stuff. These are really all just hits or miss today. This is a particularly cold
plans.
episode. But we have finally reached one that I have been waiting for. Chris Chan equals smiley face killer.
Oh. You mean like that one weird movie?
No, evidently the smiley face killer is a very real person.
Oh yeah, it was. Keep forgetting about that one.
Didn't that movie have what's his name? Tombuscus in it?
I think it might have actually. Hold on. $2012. Yeah, Toby Turner was in fact in it. He played Mark. This was from 2012.
Wow. Anyone else remember when he was relevant? Holy shit.
Poor man.
I haven't seen any of his shit in forever. I wonder what he's doing these days.
Vlogs mostly, I think. Or did.
Baph, Boson, you still there?
Yeah, I'm really into reading something.
Which?
We're
Oh,
on Chris Chan equals smiley face killer.
Oh wait. I asked Baph which one he was reading right now.
Bird.
Bird.
What does that mean?
I'm reading Ariani.
Okay, well, apparently there's an entire article dedicated to various theories. Apparently it's advanced.
I'm looking into Chris Chan.
Yeah. Well, the general idea is that it was advanced by two retired New York detectives. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah. New York detectives Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte. Apparently they found a number of young men found dead in bodies of water across the entire Midwest. And it was over the last decade, but apparently they did not accidentally drown, as concluded by government and law enforcement agencies. Victims of serial killer. Apparently the term smiley face became connected with it, made by the public, that the police had discovered graffiti depicting a smiley face near locations where they think the killer dumped the bodies in at least a dozen of the cases. Actual, not retired investigators have been pretty skeptical about it. As recently as 2008, Gannon and Duarte were examining evidence going back to the late 1990s. I believe connects the deaths of 45 college-age males found in water in 11 states, leaving parties or bars when they were drinking. Well, maybe that was the trigger. Gage, can you confirm that Chris Chan did in fact not like alcohol or people drinking it?
That is one of his biggest things. He didn't like people smoking and drinking or participating in homosexual activities.
But isn't he now a lesbian?
Well, that's not important. Now, when did the smiley face killings happen?
Trying to figure that part out. This entire theory is based off of that, so apparently the 90s to 2008. How old was Chris Chan in the 90s?
I don't know. Isn't he like 20 something in today's world? Or 30?
Christian Chandler.
Yeah, sorry about that. I accidentally refreshed the page. Anyway.
He was born in February 24th, 1982. So that would be about 8 years to the 1990s, but the theory posits that the killings happened in the late 1990s, so let's say it's 1996, so that would be about he would be about 14 in 1996, so I'm not sure about that. But that doesn't mean that he can't be a copycat killer in 2008. But I'm not sure if he would travel that often, so...
Sure.
Oh, apparently there's a disappearance of Brian Schaefer that's related to it. 2006 case in Ohio. It's considered a possible victim. Age 27.
Fuck. Damn it.
After his obituary ran online, a condolence book was posted. One of the signatures in it said, "To Dad, love Brian, U.S. Virgin Isles." This suggested Brian may have left Columbus for a new life elsewhere. Upon further investigation, a note was found to be posted from a computer accessible to the public in Franklin County. It was determined to be a hoax. Oh, well, that's stupid. Okay.
Oh, okay. Alright, let's just move on to Ariane, because I have a feeling Baph's dying to talk about.
Well, I was. So there was this very interesting adventure I went on. At first I thought it was nothing, but then it turns out it's a reference to Admiral Byrd, which was a man who did the Antarctic expedition in 1947. I came across a website that claimed to have excerpts of his diary that went in depth about how he allegedly saw the inner Earth. And that's not really proof, but for a second I thought this man wrote about the inner Earth. There's no legitimacy to this supposed diary, and now I'm sad. But if you want to read the fan fiction,
Alright,
you can follow that link.
Watch this video. It's only about 2 minutes long.
Okay, that's dumb. I was really getting hyped for that, that diary, man. I thought this man was off his rocker, but it's fake.
It sounds cool. Sounds like there was something there.
Yeah, because Ariane is the name of a gatekeeper that Admiral Byrd apparently talked to in the Antarctic shelf, who was described as being a tall humanoid. Guess not.
Alright. U.S. BioWare materials in Iraq. That's bio-war, by the way. I'm just so
BioWare.
far that I'm starting to read.
So that's where they got it.
I'm reading video game companies. They're all part of the conspiracy.
This is really only substantiated by widespread birth defects in East Iraq that is usually consistent with nuclear fallout. There is obviously no government statement on such a thing.
It shouldn't be that hard to get stuff over and across borders in the Middle East. I already know some.
Yeah.
Weapons.
There actually probably is a thing further down the iceberg of U.S. nuked Iraq, and that ties into this.
Did we though?
There's
Nuclear doesn't necessarily
decent
mean
evidence.
Spider Rock gold maps.
Alright, hold on, I have an image. Some newspaper clipping. Apparently there were these rocks discovered in, I believe, Texas, near Spider Rock, that have that have engraved in them treasure map.
Oh.
I know that was me filibustering so that the image would process.
Mystery.
I don't think they found any gold. That's probably because they haven't deciphered the map. They're a bit complicated.
So no one's actually like gone through and tried to see if there is any gold?
Not to my knowledge. You can look it up and see if you find anything for that, but I don't think I've seen anyone that has gone through to actually look for gold in Spider Rock.
Renatos buried gold from Cibolas. Apparently they're still undeciphered. Oh, they made a movie that referenced it apparently. Texas Mystery, Lost Spanish Gold. Oh, this is just a fucking book. Okay, fuck that. No, I don't see anyone finding it either. Or anyone really going out.
So I think we can move on.
Sounds good to me. Silent City, Alaska.
Here's a pic.
I really like this.
It's a pretty short story, actually. Man in 1885 was venturing out in Alaska, and he claimed to have snapped this picture. He returned and claimed that he saw a city emerge from the fog, claiming that it could have been a reflection from a distant Russian village thousands of miles away. It's interesting, but it was later found out that this was just a really badly stained picture of Oh, I gotta say it. Oh, sorry. It's a town in England, just doctored.
Oh god, listen, back. Our goal in this is to make sure Sinaticus leaves as many unblacked as possible.
That's not the goal. The goal is to find the good ones.
The goal is
Which
to
means
find
that
the ones that have the most convincible. I'm not sure if that's a word. evidence. If there's one that is unconvincing, we have to talk about it.
Apparently,
Yeah,
this has been
feel
known
like if-
since 1889.
Apparently, I feel like if Baph hadn't told you that it was a hoax, you probably wouldn't have blacked. But whatever. I'm not mad.
Hmm. Well,
What's next?
multiple moons.
Multiple
Do you believe
moons.
in the multiple Allahs?
I've been waiting for this single web page about multiple moons to load for like 5 minutes. The background, it went from white to red, back to white, and now it's black. I don't know what's happening.
Who left?
It's a pretty basic idea. Some people hold that Earth has more than one natural satellite. You can look outside and verify that for yourself.
Is it because of like the different phases of the moon? Is that what they're saying it for? Or...
There's a variety of theories. Oh, it's not always visible. This, that, the other. The moon is sometimes bigger, so it traded places with another one. But it's one of the least interesting theories here.
Is that why it looks the same? I'm not seeing anything particularly convincing. I just keep getting moon landings.
I still have the fucking thing open. A couple of
What's the what?
distractions. For the city. I didn't notice that. Oof.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Fucking damn it.
Alchemical blood ghosts.
Yeah, alchemical blood ghosts.
Can't find nothing.
Oh, but that
the
just
basic
sounds like the
idea-
coolest thing we've come across so far.
Well,
There's
well,
nothing
here's the
on
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. The basic idea was that alchemists would boil their blood, and with the steam that comes off of it, would make ghosts. They would be made out of the steam from their boiled blood.
So would it be just a weird projection of themselves?
Yes.
It sounds almost necromantic. Oh, there's a place called Ghost Vampires, Alchemy, Blood, and Immortality.
Could you imagine? You're sitting in your home and you look outside and you see a giant red cloud shaped like a man walk by. You're like, oh, okay.
Hey, that looks like my Mason Lodge leader.
Is that
Well,
the
Baph is
is that the
already-
Dizopa tribe?
Which actually you should know familiar with because the alternative name for them is the Dropus discs,
Oh yeah.
which is an article on Wayward.
It's they're just circles. They're not really that outstanding. They just build a couple hundred of them, and it's just some arts and crafts. It's not very anomalous.
All right. Cool. Bowling Green Massacre.
I went there. It was nice.
You were
went to
there
the
at
Green
the massacre?
The city.
I'm gonna have to put Baph as a ghost somewhere here on the fucking
Is he
iceberg.
made out of blood? Blood mist?
Baph is a blood mist ghost. Confirmed.
Okay, the Bowling Green Massacre is a fictitious incident that a U.S. statesman hinted at when he was talking to the media, and it's become this like ironic this little thing you say.
Like that time that some weird Wisconsin guy called old Mitch McConnell a drug fiend.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Yes, someone used the quote-unquote Bowling Green Massacre as a way to tighten immigration restrictions. Uh, with no such event happened, or did it?
Not
Not yet.
the Bowling Green Massacre also played a little bit in the whole the world was going to end on September 29th or September 23rd conspiracy theory a couple years back. But since that was a bust and nothing happened, I'm not going to get into it.
Maybe the Bowling Green Massacre did succeed, but it succeeded so well that no one knows about
I'm getting some definite 2006 volleyball incident vibe.
it. You know, it's kind of like oh, I lost a thought. No. Oh no.
You're getting older, Beth.
Oof.
You're getting to be a boomer.
No, wait. I almost had. Oh jeez. It literally like disappeared as soon as I thought about it. That's not good. Hold on.
Uh-oh. The despair code got to him. Oh, fuck.
He's having these problems at age 19. Oy vey.
Your master doesn't want to know. He's being called back into his body. Sinaticus, can you use your alien powers to do something?
Best not. I'm sorry. I don't feel like attracting the attention of the higher dimensional entities.
Hmm.
It's this big old kerfuffle that I don't want to get into.
Wow, this is dead air.
Nah.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean, he said that he was looking into something. I guess he's not. Brain World.
On Free Dictionary, a brain world is the theoretical cosmological model described by brains, BRANES, in which our universe exists in the brain inside a higher dimensional space called the bulk.
Oh, now I remember. It's kind of like how you would never hear about the perfect crime because it would be executed in such a way that you'd never know.
Oh, okay.
A little late. That was like a ping of 30 seconds. My bad.
I disagree. What if you describe the perfect crime, but it's so fantastical that no one believes it?
Is this the perfect crime?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that like just if no one believes it, it didn't happen?
Yeah, but it did. That's the thing. One could say that these Pizzagate-esque pedophile rings are the perfect crime. Few people believe him.
Based. Boson, I hope you're reading into the Dahmer shapeshifter.
I was just about to
I'm
say.
attempting.
Dahmer shapeshifter. I can't wait to. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is like Dahmer, the guy who ate people, yeah?
No, that was...
That's related to Ted Bundy shapeshifting. Also, who was another serial.
So it is Jeffrey Dahmer then.
Jeffrey Dahmer is the...
He's the guy who killed people and ate them. Thought it would
No,
preserve them.
Jeffrey Dahmer is the guy who like killed homosexuals, wasn't he?
Nope.
Are you sure about
Well,
that?
I mean, he might have killed a few homosexuals, but he didn't kill them because they were homosexual.
Hold on, Ted Bundy. Damn it. Okay, yeah, he was a cannibal. Never mind, I'm thinking of... Okay. Oh yeah, just a reminder, according to our Lord and Savior, Smiley Killer Chris Chan, Ted Bundy was in fact undercover and he was framed.
So whilst Boson is reading into that, how about we go to Ko Hung's flying car 32080.
Huh. Is this another... Kohans? 320 AD? Is that it?
Can't find nothing, sadly.
I think I spelled his name wrong. Oh, yep, I did. The first thing that comes up is, something about the Golden Age of Islam. In the book Pao Fu Zhu, dated AD 320, Ko Hung states some may have made flying cars with wood using ox leather straps fastened to returning blades to set the machines. The fuck are they? The fuck is this? Okay, now I'm interested.
Oh.
He's clearly describing rotating blades attached to a spinning axle driven by a leather as a rotor topped to principle and pitch the underlying modern day helicopter. Huh. Okay, so apparently a guy describes an ancient machine that eventually became reality in 320.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna edit this section out of the video. I'm gonna
Okay.
come in from a clap.
Alright, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
What made?
What?
The giant laundry shrimp.
Oh, I've also seen.
What happened?
The giant
That's a good
laundry
answer.
shrimp.
While Sinaticus is gone, post it, please.
There's no picture.
There's no picture.
No. Oh, while he's gone, a woman in West VA claimed she saw a giant laundry shrimp in the laundry room.
Okay.
It was about 5 feet tall, and yeah. Can you
Oh my
imagine
God.
doing this? Can you
What's
imagine
the
doing this
fish?
manually and having to investigate this and just finding out it was a hoax?
I would wonder where you would start.
It brings me back to that one alternate universe where we do the Iceberg via letters back and forth and
Oh,
real world
God, yeah,
investigation.
I remember that.
You write to Sinaticus, long ass letter, P.S. 'Twas just a spooky story. Discard. No, we gotta go find Doveland, Wisconsin. Road trip.
Jeez.
By the way, if you look up giant laundry shrimp, that's one of the pictures that comes up.
That's from a real news article, though.
Looks like it's ready to spawn.
He's a big boy.
Hmm.
That was a good chuckle though. The giant laundry shrimp. I need it. We almost might finish a whole tier at once tonight. The Tarbolin category.
Why is Lockwood better? Never mind.
Flint is pretty woke, I gotta say.
Who?
Lockwood.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy underneath him? I don't recognize it.
Oh. I don't know. That might have been Orson's old profile pic. No way to. Yeah, maybe.
No, I thought Orson was already on here.
Damn it. I don't know who that is.
Who?
Under Flint.
I don't remember.
We'll have to ask Sinaticus when he gets back.
Judge Boy, what is your profile picture from?
Oh, it's just something I randomly found.
I think it's from. I think it's from the Salem Witch movie.
Hmm. You mean the one with what was this? Daniel Day-Lewis?
I think so. The really old one. It looks like something that, like, I recognize the wall.
Hold on.
Mr. McMeme. 9/11 was an accident.
They were just going to the Bahamas. Haven't you ever seen the Postal movie?
Oof.
That's the one good incarnation thing that, or adaptation that Uwe Boll's ever done. No, it isn't.
Apollo 11
Someone else.
landed on the wrong moon.
Hold the fucking phone. Look at the bottom of the fucking iceberg.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too.
There's a
What?
There's a repeat
Boson,
on
that's a
the
different font. Sinaticus had to have manually put that in.
What is?
The soul weighs 21 grams.
Oh. JFK killed himself.
And by the way, while you're here hyping up the Britney Spears stuff, let me hype you up on Google Translate South 32.
Ooh, I heard that was a good one.
It is. It's insanity. South 32 is one of the few things that I've looked into conspiracy-wise that actually makes me somewhat afraid for my safety.
You shouldn't.
Flatwoods Monster's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Jesus, born in Texas.
we get pretty far. Alright, we'll go all in, fellas.
Okay, well wait, Sinaticus, you have to let Baph Red play you on the giant laundry shrimp. Let that one be the last one.
Giant laundry shrimp?
The giant laundry shrimp. Okay, so you gotta bear with. So a woman named Virginia was doing her laundry in the '60s, and she phoned in the sheriff's office, and she was quite hysterical, and the no results.
Okay,
All right. So he's talking on the phone. She's talking on the phone. She's telling the sheriff's office she found a giant shrimp in the basement when she was doing her laundry. It was like 5 feet tall, and she hung up. And when the police got there, they couldn't find the shrimp, but they also couldn't find her.
Hmm.
And that's unrelated. They found that in the Gulf of Mexico. That's not even on topic. Boson, thanks for distracting him. That's it. The giant laundry shrimp. You better check your wash machine.
Make sure to